Hey, business owners, you're feeling frustrated, buried by finances, taxes, insurance, investments. It can be a tangled mess. But what if you could leverage it to build your wealth? Today's guest, financial authority for business owners, Laurent Munier, is joining us to unlock the game-changing strategies around insurance diversification, tax planning, and even the intriguing wealth multiplier concept. So buckle up, hold on, we're putting you in control of your finances. Hey, Laurent, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Greg. Thanks so much for having me today.
So, Laurent, you've established yourself as a thought leader in the financial planning for Canadian business owners. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and what drew you to this specific niche, and what kind of drives your passion here?
My previous career was in tech startups and was really focused on entertainment and nightlife, which was really exciting, but it wasn't financially sustainable for the long term. And, basically in that period of time, I had a lot of money come through my hands, but not a lot of money stayed in my hands. So I came out of that with great experience and a lot of contacts, but also a bunch of debt, and I hadn't purchased any assets. And so I knew that this was not the best way forward. So really went out to try to find financial knowledge on my own. So I bought some subscriptions online and did a bunch of learning through different online stuff. And I came across a strategy that we're experts in now that really allows you to put a bunch of cash inside the right type of insurance policy and then able to leverage it out to use to invest. So this was an American company that had taught me about it. So everybody knows it's called the infinite banking concept. And I wanted somebody in Canada to do it for me. And that's how actually I met Robert, who's now my business partner. It was total fluke that we met. Once I kind of we confirmed that the same strategy is what he was doing, we started Safe Pacific to offer this. And it's a really good thing for people personally and professionally. But we've really expanded this to be really tailored towards Canadians and to involve full financial planning. So really our best clients are business owners. We help them to achieve financial stability and growth, which is essentially what we did for ourselves. And now we're just doing it on a bigger scale for more people.
Why is that important to you?
Well, it's something that I feel I'm pretty passionate about. I think more people need to know about this strategy. It's a very safe and secure way to grow wealth over a long period of time. And it also allows you to do more than one thing with your dollar. So what stops a lot of business owners from investing is that you might need that money for something. So you don't want to put that money into some sort of investment and then all of a sudden you need to buy a new truck for your company or hire new people. So what business owners don't want to do is have their money tied up in some sort of investment that they can't access if they need it to take advantage of an opportunity or an emergency. And so what this allows them to do is it allows them to, they probably need the insurance anyways because they've got a business, they might have a partner, probably have kids, probably have a house and mortgage and a bunch of debt. So they need some sort of insurance. They also want to grow their money and in a safe way, right? So they know that they're going to make a bunch of money in the business and they want their other money to grow but not be exposed to a lot of risk. Then they also want to be able to use it. So having that liquidity is super important. So this does those things. And then eventually, if they're successful, they're going to build up assets over their lifetime. And probably a lot of them, well, most of our clients want to pass that down to the next generation as a legacy, right? So how do you grow your money in a tax efficient way? How do you use your money in a tax efficient way? And then how do you pass your money tax free to the next generation? There's not a lot of things that you can do to do that. And this is really where we specialize.
Well, that sounds like a very powerful and interesting strategy that you walk through your clients through. So, we know that business ownership comes with some unique financial challenges. So what are some of the biggest concerns that you're seeing, Canadian business owners facing when it comes to dealing with their finances?
So most of the people that we're working with, they're incorporated. And so they'll have an operating company, probably have a holding company as well, because they're flowing. So they take their profit from the operating company at the end of the year and move it to the holding company. And any accountant is going to tell you to do that. And then that money is usually sitting in some sort of checking account or something like that, right? And most business owners don't want their money just sitting there, not earning them anything. So they really dislike that kind of idle money and they want to invest it. But like I was just saying, you want to invest it, but you also want to make sure that that investment is safe because I've just earned it. I don't want to lose it. You also want to make sure that you can use it, right? So it has to have that liquidity in case something comes up, an opportunity comes up, or some sort of emergency comes up. Also, it should be, you want to take into consideration taxes, because when you're investing in your company in something outside of your operating business, in Canada, it's called passive income. So you're highly taxed on that. And you're taxed at the highest marginal rate on your capital gains in there. And then actually a few years ago, the Canadian government introduced what was called the passive income rules, which makes investing in your corporation even more expensive because it could potentially, your investments in your holding company could potentially affect your tax rate in your operating company. So what does this mean? So the Canadian government has said that if you passively earn over $50,000 a year, each $1 over 50,000 that you earn is going to take away $5 from your small business deduction. So once you hit $150,000 passive, you have no longer a small business tax rate. So here in BC, that'll take your tax rate in your company from 12% to 27%. So that's a 15% additional tax if you don't structure your investments properly inside your company, right? And that could be expensive.
Those are pawn shop rates, man. Those are shark loan rates. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I don't think taxes in Canada are coming down anytime soon with our current federal government. They've made it very clear that taxes are going up. So having a tax advantage is something that you definitely need to look for if you want to build any sort of wealth inside Canada, I think, right now.
Wow. Yeah. Again. Yeah. Interesting and shocking. So it sounds like awareness and diversification are critical pieces of the puzzle. Laurent, in your work, you champion the wealth multiplier concept.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give our viewers a high-level overview of what this means and how it's beneficial to business owners?
Yeah, so what we do with the wealth multiplier concept is we combine some different strategies using a tax-exempt life insurance policy to grow and use your cash. So in Canada, life insurance is tax exempt, which means that when you can put in certain types of policies, you can put a lot of cash in it, and that cash can grow in a tax deferred way. And the way it grows is that it earns a dividend from the insurance policy over time, right? And so some of these companies that we work with have paid a dividend for more than 100 years, like every single year, and they've never not paid a dividend. And then so you're able to grow your money in a tax deferred way inside this type of certain types of life insurance policies. And then eventually, I hate to break it to you, but we're all probably going to pass away. So this pays out tax free to your beneficiaries. And the way that it does that, it pays out tax free to your corporation. And then that creates what's called a capital dividend account, a CDA. And that CDA allows those funds to flow tax-free to your beneficiaries, and they could be whoever you want, right? So for most of our clients, it'll be their spouse or their kids, or potentially a charity of their choice. And then so what we do is we structure these policies to have the maximum amount of growth, but also give you access to that cash today while you're alive, so that you have the liquidity to operate your business, so that you have the liquidity to invest into things. So it solves the problem of high corporate passive income tax. It solves the problem of having the liquidity need, and it solves the problem of being able to pass this wealth that you're going to build throughout your lifetime efficiently and quickly to the next generation.
Wow. Thank you. That's a great explanation of the wealth multiplier concept. Very, very powerful, and solves some pretty serious challenges, issues that business owners face. So can you share a specific example of a client who was faced with significant financial challenges and how Safe Pacific actually helped them turn things around?
Yeah, actually. So this is, when they say, why do you do what you do? This is really what it is, right? It's, talking about insurance and stuff's not super exciting, but here, this is where the rubber hits the road. And what do people actually do? Why are they doing this? And how does it work? And this is what's super interesting to me. So I'll give you one example. We have hundreds of examples. We deal with people all across Canada. This one's a unique. So he is a commodities broker, right? So we're in BC. A big part of our history has been built off the logging industry. So he sells logs, right? It's not a sexy business, but it's been there for 100 years and it's important. And so he needs the liquidity for large transactions to buy basically train loads of logs a couple of times a year that then he sells and needs to wait 90 days to get paid. So he's got about $3 million sitting, well, he had about $3 million sitting in his company that was driving him crazy. He wanted to invest that money, but he also couldn't invest it because he needed it a couple times a year to buy these logs. Yeah. And so what we did, and he also, because it's considered, so he's considered a risky business. So banks wouldn't lend him the money to be able to do this, right? So what we did is we actually took that $3 million and then we wrapped it up inside one of these certain types of insurance policies. So this now money is solving his problem of he didn't want the money sitting there doing nothing. So now this money's earning, this year it'll earn about 6.2% as what's called a dividend scale interest rate. And then when he needs the money, he's now taken that policy to a bank. And because it's life insurance, it's so secure, it's a safe, conservative thing, the bank will extend him a line of credit for that full amount. So then when he needs to buy these logs and front the money for a couple of months, he just uses his line of credit from the bank. And so this now solves his liquidity issue, and it also solves his growth issue. His money's not just sitting there doing nothing. And then eventually, he's young, like he's in his late 30s, so he's got some time, but eventually one day, all of this is going to go to his kids in a very tax efficient way.
It's pretty inspiring to actually hear how impactful your work can be. So ultimately, what is the key message that you want Canadian business owners to walk away from our session today?
Well, right now, things are achievable, right? There's a lot of doom and gloom when you read the media or social media, but financial growth and financial security are there. You just need to work with the right team of people who can guide you to get there. And, as a business owner, you've done the hard part, right? So like operating your company, getting it from zero to wherever you are today into some sort of profitable business that can pay you, that can pay your staff, that can pay your bill, that can pay your lease or whatever. Now that you've got that money, what do you do with it, right? How do you preserve that money and how do you grow it? And also, how do you do that without now that becomes a whole other job on itself, right? Like your job, like say you're an electrician, your job is to be an electrician and be the best electrician and take your company from whatever you're making now to whatever you're going to make in the future. Your job isn't to go and then become like a great investor on the side that's going to take away from being the electrician. So this wealth multiplier concept that we've kind of built, it adapts. It helps you solve your problem of what do you do with your money when you want it to grow? How do you keep that liquidity to operate your company or to invest? And then how do you pass it to your kids? And also it grows with you over time. So as your life situation changes, as you either have kids or your kids grow or you buy a new place or you expand your business or you hire more people or you get another truck or another machine or whatever you're doing, we're able to grow with you and your business needs and your life needs, right? And then what we do, this is really, at the end of the day, we're putting in place insurance and in Canada, these are backed by some of the biggest companies in the country, right? These are reliable Canadian insurance companies. They are boring. They are conservative. They have tons of money to back up what they say. The dividends that they've paid, like I said earlier, they've paid these dividends for more than 100 years, every single year. This includes Great Depressions. This includes world wars. This includes oil embargoes. This includes dot-com crash, 2008 crash, COVID, everything. They've paid these dividends. And then eventually, most people want to take care of their kids. They want some sort of legacy to pass down. And this is a way to efficiently pass that down quickly and without half your money going to Ottawa for them to decide what they want to spend it on. You can give it to your kids so that your kids can decide what they want to spend it on, which I think, most business owners that we want to talk to like that sense of control, and they don't really want to just say, hey, Ottawa, why don't you do what's best for me?
Yeah, you can be as benevolent as you want, but you know what? I think most people would rather have their life savings and life work going to their people that they love and cherish and trust versus Big Brother in Ottawa. So.
Yeah, better stewards of money than our current stewards.
Yeah, well said. So, hey, Laurent, this has been a fantastic conversation packed with valuable insights for Canadian business owners. So can you tell us more about Safe Pacific Financial and the specific services you offer to help business owners implement the wealth multiplier concept that you've described?
All right. So Safe Pacific is me and my business partner. There's 6 of us that actually work there. And we work with Canadian business owners. And we're licensed in BC, Alberta, and Ontario. And we've got clients across the country. We've got hundreds of clients. We've been doing this now for 13, 14 years. I think 14 years now. And really, our process starts with our initial consultation, right? Where we really want to understand your current situation. We want to understand your values. We want to understand your goals, your concerns. What are you trying to do? Who's involved? And then from there, we put together a very, very tailored and personalized plan to your situation that aligns with your goals, that involves your team, right? And your team is going to include your family members. It's going to include if you have any business partners. It's going to also include your financial team, which could be your accountant, your lawyer, maybe you have a mortgage broker, or you have other types of people that you work with. So we want to engage those types of people and make sure that everybody's on the same page. And really the best way that people can get a hold of us is through our website, safepacific.com. You go there, fill out the form. Those messages come to me. Somebody on our team will reply to you within 24 hours on business days, and we'll set up a meeting time that works for you. We know how to do it. We know how to get it done. We know how to make it work for your situation. We know how to make it work for the insurance company. We know how to make it work for the bank. We know how to make it work for your other advisors, and to address the goals that you say you have.
Fantastic. Well, listen, Laurent, thanks for sharing these incredible wealth building strategies with our listeners. And to our audience, you know what? That's all the time we have for today. But remember, when it comes to your finances, you don't have to just sit back and watch the action unfold. You can take control. So it's been a very insightful. I appreciate your time.
Perfect. And Greg, before we go, can I throw in one last plug? So if somebody, this has been kind of like a short podcast here, but we have over 150 videos on our YouTube. You don't have to give us your email. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to sign up for anything. You can just go to youtube.com/safepacific. We break this down in hours and hours and hours of video, so you can really understand what's going on and who we are. So that's a really good way if a very low commitment way for you to just go and learn more about this. And then if it's something that you want to do, just send us a message through the website, which is safepacific.com.
Yeah, a great point. Thanks for sharing that, Laurent. I've watched some of those videos, and again, it's low risk, no risk, a wealth of information, great resources, and really a comfortable way to get to know, like, and trust you. You guys are the real deal. You're doing it for a lot of Canadians, a lot of people, a lot of businesses. So our audience, listen, if you're ready to build a secure financial future, take action. Contact Safe Pacific Financial for a free consultation. Give them a call, get on their website, and reach out and do something. Embrace the power to shape your financial destiny. The path to prosperity starts with a single step. Take that step today.